Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. So in this video, we are going to talk about some pretty fantastic news when it comes to the possibility of The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker and a lot of just other games on the Nintendo Switch despite GameCube games being added to the Nintendo Switch online service. Nintendo is also dropping a little bit of Mario Kart news as well. They're teasing a new level. And Nintendo themselves have finally come out and talked about the cartridge situation when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges. If you guys end up enjoying this video, leave a like. It helps the video reach more viewers when you do, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is RoboRob93. So it's been a pretty big roller coaster ride over the past couple weeks ever since the Nintendo Switch 2 was announced at that Nintendo Direct. There's been controversy after controversy, there's been a lot of good news as well. It hasn't been all bad in my opinion. Despite all the confusion, some anger, and just overall some of the bad things that have been happening, I think overall I'm pretty excited about the future of the Nintendo Switch. I'm excited for the new consoles, the possibility of all the games that are going to be coming to the platform because of the power, the 120 FPS, the 4K, all that great stuff. And not only that, but the possibility of future Nintendo Switch games being announced by Nintendo and just exactly what we're going to be getting because we have more power to play with. I mean, could you imagine what Monolith is going to do with their next game? Oh my god, it's going to be jaw-dropping and fantastic. I mean, look what they did with the original Nintendo Switch. It's going to be pretty exciting. But even though I'm pretty excited about the future, sometimes I do look at the past and other past games that are kind of difficult to play because there's just no availability to play them, or you got to spend extra money to play them. And with the Nintendo Switch 2 costing $450, at least in the US as far as we are concerned, and more expensive in other places, if you're already planning to buy a Nintendo Switch 2 eventually, you don't want to go out and buy a GameCube or a Nintendo Wii U on top of that and a copy for that, which is probably going to cost more than whatever Wind Waker would cost on the Nintendo Switch, right? Well, this is fantastic news for those who do want to see it on the Nintendo Switch like me, and other games, not just Wind Waker. Let's say Metroid Prime 2 and 3, or a remake of Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Well, good news for you, because Nintendo Life has an article, and the article of the title says this: Zelda Wind Waker Switch 2 GameCube release doesn't rule out HD port. Nintendo, all options are on the table. And this is Nintendo themselves saying all options are on the table. So let's dig into this article and talk about it, because this is really exciting, because I've always wanted The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD on the Nintendo Switch. I like the GameCube version, don't get me wrong, but I prefer the HD port over the GameCube version. Let me know in the comment section which one you guys prefer. For me, it's the HD port. But anyways, let's get to the article. Last week, Nintendo confirmed The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker would be sailing onto the Nintendo Switch 2 as part of the GameCube library at launch, which personally I am very excited for, by the way. I like the HD port, but I also like the GameCube one. It's just I prefer the HD port. If you're worried this might rule out the Wii U HD version of the game making a return one day, it seems there's still hope. Tim Geddes of Kinda Funny Games spoke with Nintendo of America's Senior Vice President of Product Development, Nate Bildorf. I probably said that wrong. I apologize if I did, and was informed all options are still on the table. Here's what he said to VGC. I also got to sit down with Nate and got to ask a whole bunch of questions, and in typical Nintendo fashion, we didn't get too many answers, but I did ask him if Wind Waker on the Nintendo Switch Online precludes it from the Switch 2 getting the actual Wii U port at some point, and he was very quick to say, no, all options are on the table. So there you go. There's still a chance we might get this game in other ways, shape, or form to a standalone release later down the line. Geddy also acknowledges how there are already examples of games available on the Nintendo Switch that you can obtain in other ways. And this is what the guy said. Obviously, nothing's confirmed one way or another, but there are examples of games that are on Nintendo Switch Online, and you can get them in a different way, whether it's a remake or in some port version, or in the same port version, or whatever it is. But essentially, it was never say never. So this is something I've been saying for a very, very, very long time. They have games that are on the Nintendo Switch Online service like Super Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine, but you also have those two games in the anniversary pack that we got, it was like 3 or 4 years ago? And I've always said that is a big sign that Nintendo isn't shy at making these games available on the Nintendo Switch Online service, and also in forms of HD ports and also just remakes as well. And it seems this is confirmed by Nintendo themselves, which is really great news, because there are a lot of games that I think could use an HD remaster or remake. Like now we can actually get the HD ports of Wind Waker and also Twilight Princess, though personally I think Wind Waker has held up pretty well, but Twilight Princess I think could use something similar to the Metroid Prime remaster, in my personal opinion. What do you guys think? Would you want Twilight Princess on the Nintendo Switch, the HD port, or do you want like a full-on remake, or at least as close as it can get, like Metroid Prime remaster? And moving on to the next topic in this video, we are going to talk about what Nintendo has said about the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges and what they're clarifying, because there is some kind of confusion going around, and this is Nintendo officially coming out. We have talked about this in the past before, the information was already out, but this is Nintendo themselves coming out and saying it now. So over on VGC, they have an article that's titled as Switch 2 edition titles contain both the game and the upgrade on the card. Nintendo clarifies. A customer service rep had previously said that the upgrade would come as a download code. So I have seen this on Twitter here and there. There are some people bringing up a post that has the customer rep saying that it would come as a download code. If you've seen that on Twitter, that is completely wrong. Keep that in mind. And what we're going to be saying going forward is going to be stuff from Nintendo and official. This is what VGC had to say. Confusion arose last week when a Nintendo customer representative told one user the Switch 2 edition games would include the base Switch 1 game, as well as the upgrade in a form of a download code. And that's exactly the post I was saying that was the wrong information. Nintendo has now stated that this is not the case, and the Switch 2 edition of the games will contain both the games and the upgrade on the cartridge itself. In a statement to Vooks, a Nintendo spokesman said physical versions of the Nintendo Switch 2 edition will include the original Nintendo Switch game and its upgrade packs all on the same card, i.e. they are exclusively Nintendo Switch 2 game cards with no download codes. Alternatively, some publishers may release Nintendo Switch 2 edition games as download codes in physical packaging with no game card. Now keep in mind that second part where they say alternatively some publishers may release Nintendo Switch 2 edition games as download codes in physical packaging with no game card. This is those cases where you would open them up and there's just a pamphlet with a download code and there's no physical card within the packaging, and that is up to other publishers. So it is entirely still a possibility. Nintendo's just coming out and clarifying some information on the games that they already have set up. So games like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. And if you guys want more information on those two games, I did do a video including the Nintendo Switch online service games with GameCube games coming there. I broke those down with all the information within that video. You can click the top right corner of the video to catch that video. And moving on to the last topic of the video, we do have some small news for Mario Kart. It's just a tease by Nintendo. They're going to be showing Mario Kart World off in their own direct in the next week, I think it is. So this is just a tease for a new level. It's on your screen right now. According to Stealth40k over on Twitter, he said Nintendo released a new Mario Kart World screenshot teasing the new Bowser's Castle stage, which looks fantastic to me, and I honestly can't wait to get my hands on the Switch 2. I don't know if I'll buy it or not. I'm still kind of debating. I gotta really watch my money right now because I got laid off, so we'll see on that. But overall, I am excited for the game when I eventually get it. With that being said, let me know what you guys think about today's topics in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.